Well, welcome, friends, once again to First Baptist Church, Grand Cayman. I'm really delighted you're joining us as we turn our thoughts today to the book of Numbers, chapter 11, under a title I'm calling, Be Careful What You Wish For. Although I didn't find the advice immediately helpful as a very young Christian, it certainly is good advice, though of course it needs to be qualified. Here it goes. The best commentary on the Bible is the Bible. That's why many of our Bibles have those margins in them with cross-references to take us to other similar or contrasting biblical passages. So, for example, Psalm 106 has about 10 references back to various incidents in the book of Numbers, and 2 of those references specifically to chapter 11 that I'm calling Be Careful What You Wish For. The chapter begins with the people of God sinfully complaining. It's worth listening in on the absurdity of their complaints. The rabble with them began to crave other food, and again the Israelites started wailing and said, "If only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost, also the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. But now we've lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna." To be topical, we need rightly to listen to the voices of protest concerning racism, etc. But we'll also need to ensure that we're discerning, recognizing that there are other agendas beside justice that can so easily be smuggled in. However, here in Israel's case, this was wholly unjustified protest and dissatisfaction. It was a protest against the very goodness and provision of God, which here was the manna, angels' food, according to Psalm 78, verse 25, food from heaven to sustain them all their journey through. And, by the way, while we're mentioning cross-references, you may recall that the Lord Jesus directly compared himself to the manna in John chapter 6. Jesus said, "Truly I say to you, it is not Moses who gave you the bread from heaven, but it's my Father who gives you the true bread from heaven. For the bread of God is the bread that comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." "Sir," they said, "always give us this bread." Then Jesus declared, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." Of course, there's an immediate application here to us all. Jesus Christ is enough and more than enough to see us through this wilderness of sin and darkness and death to his eternal promised land. Well, these people here in Numbers 11 cried out, "If only we had meat to eat." By the end of the chapter, they had quail, tender, full of flavor, chicken-like meat. If you'll forgive the pun, for their whale, they got quail in massive amounts that we'd say choke them to death. I've mentioned the helpfulness of cross-references and the Bible interpreting the Bible. Well, one verse from Psalm 106 refers to this very incident. It's a verse that, again, as a very young Christian, I really did very quickly get the message about and from. Here's how it read in the King James Version. "And he gave them their request, but sent leanness into their soul." God gave these people what they wanted, but it was with disastrous consequences. And history is littered with illustrations of people getting what they wanted, not what God wanted. And the consequences have often been horrendous. I've learned to pray for myself when I've wanted something that might not be God's good and pleasing will. "Lord, not my will, but yours be done." Otherwise, I might get what I've requested, but find my soul shriveled up as a result. And thanks be to God for the one who really did pray that prayer, "Not my will, but thine be done," that he might rescue us from our lean and lost souls. May he, the Lord Jesus, the living bread of God, feed us and satisfy us and cheer us on our way today, creating in us afresh desires for him and to live in a way that brings him glory in his world. Be careful what you wish for. Oh, that's the takeaway from Numbers chapter 11. God help us to learn today.